There you go. So I know you've been an actor, you've done a lot of pictures, but
You didn't notice. You Google it.
I had to Google, but I looked at all the
I'm just
favelas
kidding.
that
I'm
you've
just
done,
kidding.
and I know that you're highly renowned in
Yes.
Portugal and Spain.
Yes.
But what was your different approach to casting to play the role of Jesus?
It's just not a normal project. It's not just something that you normally do. It's not just another script. It's just not another story, and especially people don't see it like that.
Right.
So this is really personal for billions of people around the world. So there's no way you can face like it's a normal thing. So first of all, I was just like overwhelmed because I grew up in Portugal, which is a really Christian country, a really religious country. And I grew up with the Bible. I grew up with Jesus stories. I grew up with Jesus Christ. So I was like, this is too much. This is too much. So I felt that I was a lucky person.
Right.
To just have the opportunity of sharing my own point of view, because this is what I think what this project is about. It's the story that we all know, but telling in a different way.
Right.
So, and there's a lot of things that you obviously already noticed. There's like a lot of different, new, fresh things that are different. But it's the same story, but with a different touch.
Definitely bringing visuals to the story.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be a powerful component. But Jesus is known for a lot of healing, but also a lot of suffering that he endured. And I can imagine that those scenes may have been the hardest to portray. The crucifixion and things like that. Can you tell me about like what were some of the more difficult parts of the story?
You touched on a subject that obviously people are waiting for, and that's just another thing that I think it's really different in this one. And why? Because we already saw a version of the story that is quite visual in terms of suffering. We already saw that. There's nothing wrong with that. This one is kind of, when the first time Jesus is being whipped, we see his mom and her suffering, watching his son being beaten. And that's a totally different suffering. It's not a visual suffering. It's an emotional suffering.
Right.
And I think people will connect with that. We all are fathers and daughters and sons. We all are family. And that's a really specific point that people will fully understand.
Yeah, the suffering through the eyes of a mother.
Exactly.
You said you grew up in Portugal. You grew up with the Bible, a very Christian nation.
Mm-hmm.
But how did displaying this role change your understanding of the stories at all? Just to be, more of an integral part of it?
Sure. I mean, I think it's one of those things that you're when you grow up in a religious country, you just take it for granted. You sometimes you don't fully understand the deep and the meaning of a lot of stuff. So I had the opportunity of just going back to the origins and just study them and just realize, and more than study, I just had the opportunity of just feeling again and how powerful it is and how important it is. So yes, for me it was a really personal journey too, for sure.
How about burden as an actor? Because playing the character of Jesus, it seems like it would be difficult to go from here and then do Magic Mike 2 after this, So as an actor, just playing that
I will
character.
take it as a compliment then. Thank you.
But as an actor, playing that character, does it inhibit, I guess, or does it make you more conscious of the roles that you could play following up?
I know exactly what you're asking. I think it's a really good question. And yes. The thing is, I've always been careful of the stuff that I choose to do. Mm-hmm. That's I think it's. Luckily, I've been a blessed actor. There's no much things that I've done which I don't fully believe in. I think that it's always a question of point of view, of perspective. There's a lot of common things that we just take it for granted, and we don't realize that there's a story behind it, you know. So yes, I mean, for me, from now on, I'm going to pay even more attention to stuff that will share more of the human condition and all the aspects that the mankind has.
Right, right. Well, very much looking forward to this mini-series and seeing you play this character role.
Thank you. I hope you enjoy it.
And I hope, you know, I get to see you do a lot more things in the
future.
You will.
Now
that
you've
been introduced to American audience.
You will. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
God warned me. He told me to build a boat. God has spoken to me. He will lead us to a new home. He has promised descendants as numerous as the stars. Who are you? My name is Moses. God has sent me to set you free. The Lord brought us out from Egypt, promised us this land. Soon it will be ours. Jerusalem, a new home.
David, you have forged God's nation on earth.
For all of us, they want us dead.
God is bringing disaster from Babylon!
Lady, I believe your son is the promised king of his people. What is his name?
Jesus. His name is Jesus.
Hi, Mom.